Welcome to the It's All Bullshit podcast. You are in the right space if you are desiring truth, to live in alignment, to live in your own sovereignty, and to literally connect in with messages and podcasts that are in that alignment as well. This podcast is going to expose it all. We do not hold back. We bring in all the concepts when it comes to the aspect of truth, and we call bullshit on all the things that are going on in that transparency in the world. So if you enjoy this kind of shit, welcome to the It's All Bullshit podcast, hosted by yours truly, Colleen Lindberg. What is up, beautiful people, and welcome back to episode 3 of the It's All Bullshit podcast. First thing I want to do before I dive into the actual subject today is give you guys a life update. So in case you've been wondering, I haven't posted a podcast in a little while because I've been in transition. And so some of you know, if you've been in my world, watching my social feeds and stuff along those lines, is that I moved from the jungle of Costa Rica, like in the jungle, in the heat of the humidity, 5 minutes from the ocean, lived on a mountain in quietness, to the city in Costa Rica. And so it's been a big shift and change. We moved to an Airbnb for 5 days before we got to the city and just been managing that. So Lily and I, my dog, have maneuvered. And so it's just been one of these things. And I'm back. Everything feels aligned. Everything feels juicy as fuck. Everything feels like it's back in the landscape it's meant to. And, some people are like, I can't believe you left the jungle. I can't believe this transpired. And it's like, as you will witness and start to learn about me, is everything for me is intuitive. Everything for me is a hit. And I just keep trusting and trusting and trusting the pathway. And it's like, I cannot not trust the pathway any longer. And the pathway brought me to the city. And I get why. It's like over the last, we landed here on Wednesday. I'm recording this on a Sunday. So it's been pretty much 5 days. Like I got here into the Airbnb around 4 o'clock. And it's about 4 o'clock. So it's been 5 full days. Let's just say that I've been here. And I understand why I'm here, at least the degree that I can get access to at this moment. Because there's always layers. There's always multiple things. It's never linear, right? It's never linear. And when we actually start to lead in this aspect and lead ourselves in this energy to be able to create in this and actually hold space in that, it's like, I get why I'm here right now. And I get why things transition. And I get why I was called to this space, because everything is opening up for me of being here. I feel more regimented. I feel more structured. I feel more connected to self. Like Lily and I have been going out at least 3 to 4 times a day on walks to the park and just being in exploration and, discovering aspects of myself and like just really connecting in. And it's like, I feel like I'm back. And so let's let that land where now the podcast is going to be weekly. It's going to be back in the space of everything. And we're going to get this fucking flow to go. So the subject I want to talk into today is something that I've been watching percolate in the fields. And I've been watching some of my clients, some people in my world, let this dictate their life. And I want to literally kibosh this experience. Okay. And some of you that really believe in the medical system are going to get triggered as fuck by this podcast today, because I want to lean into illness and disease and viruses and bacteria in our bodies and what this actually means for us and why it's showing up, and not in the space of like what we think it is. So I have a client that is about to be a client. So she did a one-off session with me this week, and literally this week, and was committing into a longer term portal, which she hasn't done yet because a bunch of shit started to transpire in her world. And her son got sick and she ended up taking on that sickness. And a couple things. So some of you guys might believe that viruses and bacteria are actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Contractual. Let's just call it that in the space of everything. Meaning, like if I'm in a sick room, and if I'm in a room with someone who's sick, that I can receive that sickness. The only truth to that is if you believe that to be true. So when you walk into a room and someone's sick in it and you believe that you can grab that from them, then it becomes true. But technically, in the essence of the world and the spiritual platforms that we actually truly are built upon, that disease, that illness, that bacteria, that sickness in their body was co-created with them. They haven't been listening to something. They have been avoiding certain aspects of themselves. They haven't done the deep-rooted work. Their belief system says that to be true. And then it fuels into the physical form, creating this ailment. And it's theirs. That is their vibration. That is their story. That is their healing dynamic that needs to come through. That's their learning. And when you start to feel this and let yourself land in this energetic space with that to be like, fuck, yeah, that's theirs. Well, you can come into their field and decide that your truth is that you can receive that from them and then it will happen. But technically, that can't be passed energetically unless you meet the vibration of that virus. You drop yourself into fear, you drop yourself into scarcity, you forget how powerful as fuck that you are, and you forget that you're a sovereign being and get to decide how you show up in the world. So I have a girlfriend of mine that once said to me, "Oh, you shouldn't come over because all of us are sick." And I'm like, dude, I don't believe in that. That's your fucking shit. That's not mine. That has nothing to do with me. That is you guys co-creating and passing that along because all of you believe that you can receive that illness from someone. Guys, and I want to say this potently, sore throats, pain in the body, the dynamics, headaches, every single part of anything that is disconnected in our physical form is a message from spirit telling us that we're not in alignment, telling us that we're not dealing with shit. It's like animal totems. When animals show up in your life, they show up to give you a message. They're here for a reason. Like a few weeks ago, so when I lived in a house down by the river, literally, not in a van, in a house down by the river. And some of you, if you don't know SNL and you don't know Chris Farley and you never watched that show ever back in like the 90s and 2000s, you'll never fucking get it. Totally fine. But when I lived in a house down by the river, we used to get cane toads that would come often, right? They're river animals, they're river energies. And um, if I reference back to some of the stuff I was going through at the time, I guarantee you, because I didn't connect into this at all until recently, I guarantee you it was toxicity and there was something energetically that was asking me to purge. Okay, like let's just be real. Sometimes we're fucking avoiding shit and not paying attention. And about 3 weeks ago, in the middle of the night, around 3 o'clock in the morning, Lily gets up and she's growling at something in the window. And I'm like, oh my God, what fucking cool animals outside, right? Because there could be, like, I still want to see jaguar. Like, I want to be able to, like, look the jaguar in the eyes and have fucking communication. For some of you that may have heard me speak about this before, and if you believe in past lives, one of my past lives was as a tiger. And when I did my first ever past life regression session, it was the first life I dropped into. So the coolest thing of all this experience was dropping into that life, feeling the heartbeat of the tiger. Every time I talk about that tiger, like right now, I'm literally closing my eyes and I'm going back into the body of the tiger. I can feel my hands turn to like these big, big, big paws. And I was running at the time in the jungle. It's the coolest fucking experience ever. And so, like, I definitely want to meet a jaguar. Okay, let me get back to the story. It was a cane toad. And we haven't seen cane toads up at this mountain house ever, right? I'd been there for 8 months, no fucking cane toads. And about 3 weeks ago, I understood and I went, I better look this up. And this guy was like fucking massive. He was like a grandfather cane toad that like showed up to be like, dude, you need to start to pay attention. And when I look it up, the energy was about toxicity in the body, for me, referencing in my body, toxicity in the mind, toxicity in the energetic field. Like, what does this represent for me? And so animals show us this exact same thing, but our actual bodies are talking to us all the time. And most of us just think that we need to take another pill, we need to go see a doctor to get some kind of prescription because there's a disease in the body that needs to be released when it's all emotional and it's all energetic. And when you can start to actually lean into this, you can change these outcomes quickly in the space of everything. And the challenge is that we've been conditioned that the medical system is the only answer through. And a lot of us have been doing a different work around this. A lot of us have, herbs and tinctures and different processes to go through, but we also believe in the space of some things that it takes longer to heal the body that way than it does through a pill. And if you believe that to be true, then it is. Remember, this podcast is about calling out the bullshit. And I'm calling this forward right now. So my client, whatever's going on in her world in the space of this dynamic, chose to take on this illness. And maybe she'd admit to that and will consciously understand it after starting to work with me. And maybe she never will. And that's not my deal. Like, I'm not the health coach coming into the space, but I am the energetic alignment coach. And so I had one of my other clients who had to move his first appointment for us starting together because he had like strep throat and he was going through this thing. I go, have you looked it up? And I sent him a message with what it actually means in the spiritual side. And he's like, fuck. And I'm like, here's how you move through this. Ask yourself this question, and this question in the space of that, and then start to do the energetic work around that to release that and let it go. And it's like we don't understand that our physical bodies are talking to us all the time in a powerful, fucking potent way, guys. Like they are, our bodies are telling us whether we're off, whether we're in alignment. Our bodies, if they're not maneuvering properly, like digestion and sleeping and all this dynamic, something is off energetically and emotionally with us that we are not connected. We're either not making decisions, we're avoiding making decisions, we're hiding from fucking truths in our life, and we're not stepping fucking forward. And this is the thing, a lot of the times when we bring in illness into our world, we actually are creating a distraction or a pathway to block our actual expansion and the timeline that's being called forward to deal with our shit. We use illness as an excuse. I can't go to that thing because I'm now sick. I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of that. And this is going to fucking hit some of you guys real hard. So every single time something happens in my body, I'm asking the question, what am I avoiding? What am I hesitating on? Where am I not speaking my truth? Where am I not stepping the fuck in? And it's like when you start to let this land in your energy, it's like, holy fuck. It's a holy fuck moment, you guys. And it's like we are not a byproduct of a medical system that has and holds all the keys. It's different if we're in traumatic fucking accidents where we need to go to the hospital to get fixed and go into surgery. Totally different. But prescription drugs and taking them for these ailments that are showing up in our physical form, it's like, look, you guys got free will. You could do whatever the fuck you want, but you are not addressing the problem. You aren't, because you can move this energy through quickly. Like literally, so many people in my world that do energy work can fucking move the energy right away. And some of you who have been in my one-to-one work know that to be true because you come in with a headache, you leave without a fucking headache. Because we deal with the shit. We deal with what's happening. And of course, we've got a truck driving by right now with a big fucking stereo on. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I just fucking think it's hilarious that I now live in the city and it feels like New York. Yesterday, there was a concert happening I didn't realize that 3 blocks away is the actual national stadium for Costa Rica. And they don't have any performers that I'd like to see this year that is here, but I wish they fucking did because I'm like, I haven't been to a concert in forever. But I would only step up into that arena if it was an energetically connected person. Like I'm not going to just go because that's a lot of fucking energy to hold. And it's like, so I want to bring this back into this phase of your evolution and your consideration to be like, if your body hurts right now, what the fuck are you avoiding? And have you looked it up? So a couple of key things I do with clients all the time. What hurts or what is showing up from an energetic perspective, like strep throat. And I go to Google and I go, the spiritual meaning of strep throat. I guarantee you it locks down with exactly what you're doing. And then I look at that and I dissect it in my life to go, where do I need to move this energy forward? Most likely it's conversations because strep throat represents a lot of the blocked throat chakra. So you're not speaking your truth. You're not stepping up into the space. You're not making the moves you desire to make, or your soul's calling you forward on, and you're blocking yourself from actually communicating that into the world. And it's like when you lead in this and when you step up into this, everything fucking's changing in your life. Everything will. But the challenge is we're so conditioned in this landscape of certain aspects of self that we do not take the time. We'd rather pop a pill that gives us a temporary relief for 3 hours instead of getting to the root of the shit we need to deal with. And so that's the story today. That's the perspective. That's the landing space. It's the exact same thing when you're holding on to weight. It's like whenever I gain weight back, I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean for me? Why am I in this space here? Is it because I'm unhappy? Is it because I'm not listening to self? Is it because of whatever? All of it is relevant. So I leave you with these questions today for your own self. Feels good to be back. I'm sure you missed me. Like, let's just be real in the space of that. I love you guys. And like, again, because this is the beginning parts of this podcast getting out into the world. Share it with a friend, share some of this clip on Instagram, tag me in the space of, if you just listen to it, and you feel called to share, like do your thing in the space of that. The more hands we can get this into the people, the more people's hands we can get this into, how about I say it that way, the more the energy spreads, the more truth we create in the world, the more ripple effect we get to maneuver through. So I love you guys. I'll see you guys in episode 4. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode. And we just ask that if you feel called, share this out on social, send it to a friend, help us promote the podcast. The more hands this gets into, the more conversations we get to have in the truth. And for some of you that have been inquiring, Colleen Lindberg is a soul mission activator, shadow alchemist, and she's also a really badass business alignment strategist. So if you desire that kind of stuff in your world and you're like, shit, I want to have a conversation with her, come find her on Instagram, send her a DM, send me a DM, actually. I don't know why I'm talking in the third person. And let's get her done, man. This is all about discovering the truth within ourselves and owning our power as we move through the world. So I look forward to hearing you, seeing you, feeling you, doing all the juicy shit in the next episode together. And we'll see you then.